A slice of cake is good, but mini cakes are better. Today we're gonna make a pineapple and olive oil mini cake. This way you get to personalize it based on your food lifestyle, so you can control the ingredients you add to it and also the flavors you like. So you can make it and personalize it for any family, friends, and guests you're having over. And we're gonna make a couple variations. I'm Chef Kyle from Kyle's Creations, here to make simple and healthy recipes for everyday living. If you're new now and you love to get creative with cooking, hit that subscribe button right now and ding my notification bell for my latest and tasty recipe. I'm going to show you guys how to break down a pineapple so we can use the juice, add that to infuse into the cake, and then we also use the pineapple chunks and use that as garnish. First step, let's give the pineapple a stylish makeover and slice off the top and bottom. Then, carefully carve around the pineapple to remove the peel, including those unwanted brown eyes. Once the pineapple is trimmed up, cut out the core and save that nutrient-dense center for a delicious smoothie. So I have a fresh pineapple here. You could smell it. It smells ripe. It pulls very easily. I have a couple measuring cups over here. One is going to be for the disposable. I'm going to use it for the top and the skin. And we're going to extract some juice and then blend it and strain it at the end. So we're just going to cut off the top and the bottom. And we're just going to go around until you remove the eyes. So then now we're going to cut around the core. Do it. Hold it straight. Cut down. Okay, and save the core. We can use this for any shakes. You can use it as a thickener. There's natural pectin in here. Step 2, let's continue by slicing up 1/3 of the pineapple into neat little cubes, each about 1/2 inch in size. Then tackle the rest of the pineapple by chopping it up and then tossing those chunks into a blender and blend until a smooth, fruity, and sweet perfection. But wait, don't forget to strain out the pulp at the end, so we are left with tropical juice perfection. And now we're going to cut these slices. And we're going to cut this in like small chunks. So I'm going to go across this way. I think this pineapple is a little overripe, so there's a few pieces that are dark. You could still use it for a shake. Okay, so now we're going to do some chunks. I'm just going to even this out. Take up my chunks right here, add it to my bowl, and we'll do the same with the other ones. That's a good amount for the topping, and we're going to add the rest for the juice. So we're just going to do big chunks. Get the rest of the pineapple, so roughly about 2/3 of the pineapple, in my blender. And we don't need water, we just let it get started. All right, perfectly blended. All right, have a bowl with a strainer lined with cheesecloth. We're gonna strain it. Look at that. Wonderful, fresh pineapple juice. You can use it for desserts, smoothies, fruit drinks, vegetable drinks. You can add into that. And we're just gonna squeeze this a little bit at a time. We're gonna pour the rest. It's actually just gonna sit on the top anyway. And this is a fine mesh strainer, so we actually don't really need the cheesecloth. You're just gonna leave this on the side and let this strain for at least 10 to 15 minutes. This is the remaining juice minus the pulp. And we just need about 1 cup. This is going to be for the glaze. I'm going to teach you guys how to preserve your own fruit with natural pectin, actually using my apricot jam recipe. 2 tablespoons are going to be for the cake, and 1 cup will be for the glaze. Step 3, divide and combine. Separately sift the dry ingredients and combine the wet ingredients. Then it's time to merge the two together until you have a fresh, fruity, vibrant batter. Now drizzle in the extra virgin olive oil until you have a silky smooth batter that will guarantee a moist cake for days. Get ready to taste the gold by popping those mini cakes in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So we're finally going to prepare the pineapple and olive oil cake. I always like to sift the dry ingredients first, get that out of the way. So all-purpose flour is going in. Now, some vital wheat gluten. Vital wheat gluten is technically not flour, but is a flour-like powder that contains nearly all gluten and very little starch. And of course, I can't forget my wonderful warming spices. We have ground cinnamon going in. That's going to be wonderful. And of course, equal portions of ground ginger. And can't forget my underrated ingredient, ground coconut flakes. That's gonna go really well with the pineapple theme. So we're gonna sift that, use a whisk. You can just sift that, mix that together. And of course, I forgot baking powder as our leavening agent is going in. Don't forget to add the salt. Okay, now our wet ingredients. We're gonna go in with 2 whole large eggs, some whole milk, and of course the fresh pineapple juice. Lastly, some wonderful vanilla extract. Mix that together. And I'm gonna go in with some wonderful raw honey. It's gonna be our natural sweetener. And if you guys wanna know any more information about the ingredients or seasonings that I'm using, click my WebMD links in the description box below. Right, so it's gonna take a little bit to stir this together, but it's gonna come back around and we're gonna whisk this. And then now we're gonna hold in the dry sifted ingredients. We'll do this in half batches. I just switched the bowls around so you can better see what I'm mixing. And add the rest in back so you guys can see. We got little lumps there and that's perfectly fine. Just like when you're making any hotcakes or pancakes. And just before we add our extra virgin olive oil, we're gonna zest 4 limes in there into the cake mix. Now I'm gonna switch to my whisk, okay? And we're just gonna whisk this a little bit at a time until all the extra virgin olive oil has dissolved into the batter. Together. And for the mini cakes, we're gonna have to transfer this over in a piping bag, or you can use a Ziploc bag. Pour the mixture in. Oh, it smells so good. Can't wait to bake this. And remove it. Bring it down to the bottom. And this is gonna be a wet mixture. Brush my donut molds. And you could find these online really cheap. There's many different options. You could bake this as a full cake, but I prefer the mini, and I think you guys will too. I'm gonna cut the tip right here. While it's still in the bag, you can always double the bag and use a piping tip. So I actually want these to be fluffy and big, so we're gonna actually add a little bit more than we think we need. Okay, just make sure you wanna get the same amount in each. So the smart thing to do, line this up first in my baking tray because it is super liquidy, and then pipe it. Keep these level, and we're gonna bake this in the middle rack for about 12 minutes. See you soon. Step 4, elevate your pastry game. While those mini cakes are working their magic in the oven, let's whip up some vanilla honey whipped cream. Once you achieve the perfect pillowy light medium peak texture, let's reduce our pineapple juice down by half for that roasted pineapple goodness. Next, add a dollop of apricot jam and keep cooking the pineapple glaze until it reaches the perfect thickness to glaze and preserve any cut fresh fruit. Now we're gonna make a little chantilly whipped cream with honey, and so we're just gonna go in with about 1.5 cups of heavy cream there, and we're gonna add some vanilla extract in there and start on a 4-speed. And once it starts to thicken, okay, now I'm gonna add the honey in. At this point, I like to test it. Still very soft peaks. Just gonna scrape some of the excess honey off the sides. The last bit, we're just gonna whip this by hand so we don't overmix it. Okay, perfect. So you could just measure this, and I always like to go halfway. So halfway is about here. Get that off. Drop my tip in there. Let's grab halfway and one more. Perfect. So that's the perfect amount for now. Right? And we'll save this in the fridge so we can add more if we need it. I realized after about 12 minutes, these pineapple olive oil mini cakes need about another 3 minutes to
Small
cook.
pot on medium heat. I'm gonna go in with that wonderful fresh pineapple juice. We're gonna reduce this by half.
See, the pineapple juice has reduced by half. Now add my apricot jam. You can also use your favorite store-bought jam. Whisk that into the pineapple juice until it has reduced again for another 10 minutes. Wow, I can smell the roasted pineapple flavor. Now shut the heat off. Now add a teaspoon of raw honey and transfer this pineapple glaze to an oven-safe bowl and let it completely cool off.
Okay, I did a little cake test, so just insert it towards the middle at an angle. Comes out clean. You know that the cake is ready, and you can see it started to crack, so that means it is actually perfectly done. Look at that beautiful height we have there. For sure, you definitely get a affordable priced cake size, perfect for sharing and savoring together. Perfect, because now you can customize it with your own flavored whipped cream and add whatever fresh fruit you like. So I'm gonna let these cool off, and then we're gonna unmold them.
Step 5. Let's finish with some edible floral touches. Grab your piping bag and swirl on that light honey whipped cream into delicately light flower petals. Now cut up your fresh fruit and dip them into that pineapple glaze. Finally, crown your mini cakes with this fruity and utterly delicious fresh fruit topping.
These cakes are ready. You can see once they cool down, you'll see that they actually shrink in size and release from the molds naturally. So now we're just gonna pop these out. All right, guys, these smell wonderful. So first things first, we're gonna add the whipped cream. Decorate this. You can hold it up like this and turn it around, but I'm not gonna hold it directly up, so we're just gonna do it. Hold it from the bottom and just do some cool looking petals. All right, now we're gonna do the fresh fruit. Okay, so now I'm gonna prep the strawberries. Let's start with the small ones first and see how many we actually need. Okay, just remove the ends. So we're gonna quarter them first and then individually cut them so we have 8 pieces in total. So now I'm splitting these in half so we get the perfect petal size bite. And these are a little bit tall, so I'm gonna stack them together and trim about a third off of that. Save that for another one and put that back in the bowl. Finally, we'll cut some blackberries. Let me see how I want these to look. So,
Half the blackberries.
so we got a couple variations here. I'm gonna start with the outside first, which are the petals. So that is these strawberries. Let them drip. You got to be delicate with the strawberries because they're very thin. And then you can do the windmill style, which is all the petals going one way. And now we can add other fruits. The drip. I'm gonna do the pineapple. So just have fun with it.
Have fun with your children.
Get interactive. If you guys want, always add a little mint for some green accents. Carefully transfer these. All right, guys. Wow, look how wonderful and decorative these are. Perfect for family gatherings. I really don't want to take a bite right now because it is so beautiful. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it. But we do have to do a taste test. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take a little bite. Oh, wow. Wow, guys, that is so delicious. There is so much going on. I don't even know where to begin, but the cake is beautifully light. It's fluffy. It's not overbaked. It's got the perfect light, airy texture, and you can definitely taste the pineapple coming through. A lot of times I have issues with some citrus cakes where you actually don't taste the fruit coming through, building on layers. So after the cake, I'm definitely tasting the light and airy whipped cream. And if you didn't know, which is something that I just learned today, but adding honey to my whipped cream is actually a natural stabilizer because look, This has been out for about 45 minutes and the whipped cream hasn't melted yet. It's still perfect. No stabilizer added, just honey. So that's something that I learned, and I hope you guys appreciate that information. But going back to the flavors, I definitely taste a little bit of that glaze coming through. So the apricot and those cinnamon notes and those flavors really balance this dessert out. This is an anytime dessert, but it is a perfect bite, perfectly light. I control the amount of sugar in here, so it's not overly sweet. Everything is beautifully balanced together. It's one of the lightest and freshest desserts I ever made, and it's not overly zesty either. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And this reminds me of two other desserts that I would like to plug in now. We have another citrus themed dessert, which is my blood orange loaf dessert. And another video that's reminded me of fruits that I love to use includes orange and apple. So we have an apple and orange posset, which is actually a curdled cream made from reduced orange juice. So you guys will love that video. It's also very light, creamy, airy, and delicious. So check those two videos out now and stay tuned for the next episode. Take care.